What is up, everybody? Joe Broccoli here with Average Joe Fishing. Just wanted to drop a quick video. This is more of a discussion video. I'm really hoping people engage. I'm really hoping that people will leave a comment and tell me what they think. This is not me talking facts. This is me talking opinion with a little bit of information that, I think will help others. But in a nutshell, we just had the Big Bass Tournament. Temperatures dropped into the 20s out here. People lost vegetation on their properties. The water levels are down, I want to say an additional 4 to 6 inches since about 6 weeks ago. I'm very curious to know what people are going to do, because that whole Big Bass event really is based off of the spawn. They are hoping that there's spawners in here, that you're going to see these big bass coming on TV for their weigh-ins, and that did not happen. 5-pounders, 6, 7s, sure, but only one double-digit bass, which this is huge. I mean, as far as the chain goes, this is what the chain needed. The chain needed a break. We are bombarded with tournaments every week. That's totally fine. I'm not against it. But at the end of the day, that Big Bass event truly does come through and strip out a lot of what we need to progress through the year. So with that said, you've got that event. Now here you've got another major fishing tournament coming in. You've got George Fest right after that. Then you've got the Teen Challenge. And the reality is the spawn 100% is delayed. Like, they're not in these canals right now. Or excuse me, they're in the canals. They're up the center of the canals, as I said in my last video, because they're waiting. But at the end of the day, it wouldn't surprise me if they've moved back out to the lakes, because with the water temperature dropping and then, of course, the water level dropping, these fish are trying to find those that either real heavy cover, or they're trying to find deeper water. But yeah, I'm curious to know what everybody thinks is going to happen, because I think the pros are going to have a hard time unless they isolate these fish. I think that the spawn is going to be absolutely phenomenal for the chain, and I think next year we're going to see bigger bags than ever before. But yeah, let me know, what baits are you throwing? What areas are you focusing on? Do you think that this information is valid? Do you think that it actually serves a purpose, or is somewhat accurate? Because the last thing I want to do is share info that is not going to be. For those that are watching because they were hoping to get some info going into the tournaments, the reality is I only fished certain areas. I did not go all over the place. It has been cold for a couple of weeks. My belief is that they are still in the canals, that they are up the middle of the canals. A lot of people don't realize this, but there's a lot of area of the AB Canal, which is the canal that connects Lake Bouclair to Lake Apopka, and even from the lock inside of Apopka out to Lake Apopka, there's a whole lot of water there that's 4 to 6 feet deep for a consistent long stretch. If you look at lakes like Bouclair as an example, or Carlton as an example, outside of the middle of Carlton, typically you're seeing a 4, 6, 8 average of depth. That is just what these lakes all hold. Apopka is obviously way less. I would love to know from anybody that's going to fish Apopka, because I would imagine that Apopka is going to be like the top water Senko just mega event. Like there's no way with that water now and a lot of the areas going down to 2 feet that top water bite is not going to be insane, and that Senko dropping down and sitting on the silt. But inside the middle of these canals right now, there's a lot of vegetation, there's a lot of cover, but there's a lot of shade, which is dropping that temperature down once again. So I don't know if these fish are literally going to move from one side of the canal where the sun's going to be at, and then they transition to the other side, which is going to be the tree line. But yeah, please leave some info. Let us know what you're seeing. And yeah, I look forward to seeing how everybody does this season.